What if I told you that everyone here tonight, every single one of us, share a trait with the greatest innovators to walk the planet? Would you believe me? It's true. In fact, it's hardwired into us as humans. And it's as important to innovation at Apple today as it was when Albert Einstein formulated the theory of relativity. It allows relatively unassuming people like Philo Farnsworth to develop the image dissector, which we call the television, and Stephanie Kwolak in 1965 to develop a lightweight fiber that would revolutionize aircraft, space vehicles, and save hundreds of thousands of lives on battlefields across the globe. The secret behind Kevlar and the television is intuition. In his autobiography, Steve Jobs wrote, "Intuition is more powerful than intellect." And Stephen Hawking said, "There is no prescribed route to follow to arrive at a new idea. You must take an intuitive leap." Now, I admit, when I hear intuition, I get a vision of a 1940s Bela Lugosi movie. I mean, intuition? That's the big secret? A gut feeling? Well, the gut does use more than 30 neurotransmitters. That's the same as the brain. And it's home to over 100 million neurons. That's more than the spinal cord. And since its discovery, the enteric nervous system has often been referred to as the second brain. And while it's true some of us have larger second brains than others, doesn't make it more intuitive. Measurement for intuition has been a challenge. But imagine if we could measure intuition. Companies could test for and staff people really high in the intuitive scale. We could staff our product development departments with intuits. Thank you. At very least, measurement would lend credence to what the greatest innovators in history have been telling us. They credit this esoteric knowing without knowing how they know. Wikipedia defines it as the ability to acquire knowledge without proof, evidence, or conscious reasoning. And that sounds like a superhero power to me. But measurement, if we could really get a handle on the measurement, I think we would finally bring some legitimacy to intuition. Well, a group of researchers at the University of South Wales has actually developed a test for intuition. And they published their findings in Psychological Science, and the results were amazing. So what they did is they showed a screen of like amorphous blobs, right? And they were asking the participants to identify if they were moving to the right or to the left. And then they did the test over again, only this time they used a technique called flash suppression that sent highly charged emotional images directly at the participants, but it was below their threshold of conscious awareness. And the test showed that when these participants received these unconscious images, their test scores went through the roof. And not only that, but over time, their test scores continued to improve. The researchers proved that unconscious emotional images can concurrently affect non-emotional behavior. That's intuition. Unconscious emotional images affecting non-emotional behavior. So, at the end of the testing, it was proven definitively that intuition exists. We all have it. We're hardwired for it. If it wasn't for intuition, people like Oprah Winfrey, Sir Richard Branson, Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, Steve Jobs, and yes, our friend Philo Farnsworth. Philo would have never made his contributions to society if it hadn't been for intuition. Philo would have never created the television if he hadn't intuitively envisioned sending electrons in rows. Intuition. And this is important. If Philo didn't have a working knowledge of electronics, his vision of sending electrons would have been nothing more than a daydream. Because it's where intuition and practical knowledge collide, where we create new processes, new ideas, and new concepts. Excuse me. New ideas, new concepts. That's where intuition is born. Malcolm Gladwell stated it really well. He said, truly good decision-making relies on a balance between deliberate and instinctive thinking. Intuition's real. It's hardwired into every one of us. Albert Einstein called it a gift. Use it. Bounce it off practical knowledge and try to find solutions that satisfy both. In a world dominated by big data, more and more corporate decisions are being made by big data like AI, analytics. There's an algorithm for everything. Today, more than ever, we cannot lose sight of the fact that the greatest innovators of all time have told us, and they're not shy about it. Human intuition is the cornerstone of innovation. Use it. In a world dominated by big data, I believe the future of true innovation is relying on it. Thanks.